The multi-billion-dollar family vlogging industry is awash in accusations of exploitation, but I talked to some high-profile sharenters who insist that what they do is worth it. Okay, so let's start with the Bucket List family. I don't know if you guys know who the Bucket List family are, but they have millions of subscribers on YouTube, hundreds of thousands of followers other places. So there are the dad, his name is Garrett. And something that I find really interesting about Garrett is that he actually sold a company in 2014 for $54 million. So a lot of times people talk about family vlogging and they're like, well, it's a really good way for people to make a ton of money. But like in Garrett's case, like it doesn't seem that he needs it because he made $54 million. But anyway, after that, he and his wife, Jessica, and their 3 children decided to pack up their lives and go on a 6-month global adventure. So they were just going to travel all these places, but they started posting content about it and people really loved it. And just like that, the Bucket List family was born. So it was part travelogue, part parenting diary, and part lifestyle brand. So when I talked to Garrett, he told me our YouTube is our home videos. Our Instagram is a photo journal for us. That's how it started. And this is also something that I hear often when I interview family vloggers and influencers. They'll tell me that YouTube is basically a scrapbook, or it's their way of keeping their family memories, which like I understand on one hand, but also like it's not a family scrapbook, right? Because you're showing it to millions of people. Like, unlike most home videos, these videos aren't locked in dusty VHS tapes or private cloud folders or whatever it is, but they're public, they're polished, and they're widely monetized. And sometimes they capture extremely deep, painful, emotional moments. Like when I was getting ready to interview Garrett, I was going through the Bucket List family's content, and I actually found a video of his 10-year-old daughter, then 10-year-old daughter, saying goodbye to her deceased grandmother's casket. That really threw me. I don't think that like millions of people should have been able to see that incredibly private moment. I do think that like people want me to have like a very specific opinion on family vlogging, like, oh, this is immoral or this is terrible. And a lot of times I think that really the truth is in the gray area, and that's why I try to talk to the people who are involved. But when I saw that video of his daughter saying goodbye to her grandmother's casket, that like really threw me. So in 2025, it really does feel like family vlogging is at kind of an inflection point. Thousands of creators have built really robust careers by centering and publishing content of their children online. But more and more people are asking, where's the line between documenting your family's life and exploiting them? Can children meaningfully consent to having some of their most private moments put online? And actually, I'm really curious what you think about that. So please comment and let me know. And something that I also wonder about is like, if you don't think the kids can consent, at what age do you think that they can? But I mean, really, I think so many people are starting to wonder what happens when a child's most private moments are really preserved in the amber of the internet. So for this story, I talked to Ariana, who was a former nanny of an influencer family. She says that the filming never stopped. The cameras were always going. She told me about this one time that a child was sick and wanting to rest, but they were kind of forced and guilted into taking part in shooting the content anyway. How were they guilt tripped? There were lines like, this is how we make our money. And kind of, this is something I've heard from other influencer kids too, is that their parents will be like, well, we need money. Don't you want us to like be financially stable? And so that's just like, and it's interesting because there's no set, right? Like your home is your set and your life is your work, and there's no clocking in. Like you're kind of always on in this way that I think is very particular to this kind of work. There's cameras at the dinner table, there's cameras at bedtime, there's cameras when you're crying, and that's not every family vlog doesn't do that, but I've seen so many videos where I'm just like, why is the camera on right now? A lot of parent influencers don't see their work as exploitative. So I asked Garrett G of the Bucket List family fame what he thought about this. And he says that he uses his discretion, that if his kids don't want to be filmed, then he honors that. And it's interesting because almost every family vlogger that I've ever interviewed has told me that. And I wonder, like, do you guys think that it's true? Like, could it possibly be true that they're all honoring that? So when I was kind of pushing back on Garrett a little bit, he said, that's where my judgment comes in and it's my call as a parent, which is true. And for a lot of creators, the trade-off does feel worth it. So I talked to 24-year-old Morgan Fluellen, who is a single mom. She has over 1 million followers on TikTok. She went viral with this video and racked up tons of followers, and now TikTok is her career. She didn't set out to be a mommy vlogger, but it's totally changed her life. But she told me that sometimes the backlash does get to her and she wonders, wait, am I exploiting my kid? She told me that she has boundaries around what she posts, so she tries not to post her daughter in a diaper. Although when I looked at her videos, old videos where her daughter wasn't just a diaper were still up. So it seems like that was the rule going forward, but she didn't go back and like delete old content, if that makes sense. And even though Morgan sets these boundaries around what she shares about her daughter online, when they go out into the real world, like her daughter, who when we talked was only 2 at the time, people would recognize her daughter Gigi in public and like come up to her and like want photos and like want to talk to her. And Morgan told me that her 2-year-old daughter Gigi would like play with the ring light and like pretend to be filming herself. And Morgan was like, honey, we need to get you to a playground or something. I also talked to Veronica Merritt of @ThisMadMama. So she has 12 kids and she vlogs a lot of their lives. She's a single mom of 12, and she says that if she could go back in time, she would have handled things differently. She would have maybe hidden her children's ages and names and faces, but now like it's all out there already. So she's like, what am I supposed to do? One time she did stop filming her kids and putting them on her channels, but then people were kind of coming at her for that. So people were even accusing her of like really dark things like child abuse, and they were like, oh, you're like hurting your kids and that's why you're not showing them. And so she kind of gave up and started showing them again. And like, I don't know, as a single mom of 12, like there are so few options of how you can take care of your family. So I don't know, do you think that's a justification? And the thing is, it is so different. Like people will compare being a child actor to being a child influencer, but it is so different. Like child actors have so much more legal framework protecting them. And there are only 4 states in the country that have laws that are related to child influencers. So that means that if you're in one of those 46 states without them, that you could work your entire childhood and adolescence. You could reach the age of 18 and realize that there was no money set aside for you, and that would be totally legal. I think it's also important to note that like a child actor is playing a role, right? Whereas the child influencer is famous for being themselves, which is just so much more personal and intense, it seems to me. And especially with like all my conversations with child influencers, like it's not the same as child actors where they're behind a role, right? Like I think about like Macaulay Culkin was famous for being in Home Alone. Like he wasn't famous for like his actual self. Every family influencer, family vlogger, mom influencer that I've talked to says that some family vloggers cross the line, but they insist that they have never crossed the line. So I thought that was really interesting. Like everyone was like, yeah, some people do it wrong, but not me. And they would point to like the really egregious cases like Ruby Frankie, or like things that Piper Raquel's mom was accused of doing, although that case was settled, and none of them think that it applies to them, even when I'm looking at videos of their kids crying or saying goodbye to their grandmother's casket. And the thing is, someday these kids will grow up, right? Like they will Google themselves, they will watch the viral videos. I mean, Morgan, the mom vlogger on TikTok, said that people are already coming up to her 2-year-old daughter when they're out in public. And you know, maybe some of these kids will love it, maybe some of them will resent it, we can't know. But I think the thing to note is that the cat is already out of the bag in this way. And I wonder if the question isn't, should we be filming our kids and putting them in monetized content? But maybe the question is, why can't people stop? So if you are interested in this topic, I wrote an entire book on it and it is available for pre-order, and I'll put that link down below. And I also have tons of other videos about this. And if you have any questions, please just let me know, and make sure that you like this video, comment, tell me your thoughts about family vlogs, and subscribe so you don't miss my next video.